Quaddies, welcome back. So today I'll be diving into part 3 of our 3-part series, Energy, Mood, and Sleep. And I know it's been a while, but the journey must continue. I've already talked about energy, we've talked about mood, and how our hormones affect those two very important phases of our lives. And today I'm going to be delving into part 3 of the puzzle, sleep, which is something most of us wish we can get more of, if not all of us. Why does sleep matter? Sleep is not just something that we should take as a downtime activity. No. Sleep is our body's reset button. Yes, when we are sleeping, our hormones are behind the scenes, are in the details, and they're repairing, they're balancing, and they're recharging everything. They're getting things back into place so that we can be ready and available for the next day. However, when we do not give our hormones enough time to get the job done, so we want to think of our hormones as our night crew. So in the night, they come to work and they're cleaning things up, they're balancing, they're repairing, they're getting rid of all the gunk and trying to get things ready, getting us prepped, so we can be recharged and energized and rejuvenated for the next day. However, when we do not give our hormones enough time to work, essentially our night crew enough time to work, what happens? We wake up, we're cranky, we have brain fog, and we have low energy. What are some of the hormones that are involved in helping us sleep, falling asleep, or even staying asleep? The first hormone I want to talk about is melatonin. Melatonin is our body's sleep messenger. So if you think of it, when you get a text message, right? It comes from somewhere, somebody sends you a message. So this melatonin being the sleep messenger, there's communication, as I said earlier in our mood series, of our hormones communicating with the chemicals in our brains. And the melatonin gets the message from the brain when it's time for rest. And the melatonin essentially indicates, hey, it's sleep time. It's the time that your body needs to go to rest, lights out. However, this gets interrupted when we are scrolling on our phones, or binge watching our TVs, or we're leaving our lights on. So we want to get that situation sorted out, and we want to make sure that we're engaging in activities that will not interfere with this messenger. The second hormone I want to talk about is cortisol. Let's talk about cortisol. Cortisol is our stress hormone. Why is it called a stress hormone? Well, it's called a stress hormone because when it remains high, it causes our bodies to react in non-healthy ways. However, cortisol is our energy regulator. It's the hormone that gives us energy in the morning. When we get up in the morning, our cortisol is generally high, and it gives us energy to get to do the things that we are supposed to do. However, when we go to bed, we want our cortisol to go down to a level that allows the melatonin to engage us in that sleep mode, right? But when we're getting to bed and we're tossing and we're turning and our hearts are racing and we're thinking about the things that we could have got done, didn't get done, need to get done, we do not give our bodies the opportunity to relax. And that's just an indication of our cortisol working overtime. Third and fourth are estrogen and progesterone. These two hormones, I call them our sleep team. Progesterone, if you can recall, it is a hormone that acts in nature as our chill pill. It causes us to be relaxed. So, however, when this is interrupted, which is around our menstrual cycle or menopause, we tend to not get proper sleep and it interrupts our sleep. Estrogen, on the other hand, is the temperature regulator. It helps to regulate our temperature. So when our estrogen is too low or off, right, we get cold sweats or night sweats, you call them, and we're tossing and turning. We're not able to fall asleep. So these are the 4 hormones that are involved in helping us fall asleep, stay asleep, and we want to make sure that we're doing things that gets us into that sleep-induced phase and cause the hormones to do their job so that we can wake up revived, refreshed, and rejuvenated. What can we do to help our hormones to help us to stay asleep or to get enough? Second thing that we want to do, for example, is we want to keep our room cool reducing our study time, shutting down our screens an hour before bed. That is the first tip that I want to let you know that you should do. It's not very easy for some persons, especially with the digitization of the world, right? We're always on our phones looking at social media, but we want to make sure that we're keeping that in check and we're shutting down at least 1 hour before bed. So the second tip I want to suggest is that we keep our rooms cool and dark. This is important because melatonin loves the dark. It gets activated in the dark because what happens is when the lights penetrate our eyes and gets to the brain center, our brains are like, oh, we're wide awake. So the brain is confused when we have the lights on, especially, at times where our melatonin is supposed to be activated. So we want to make sure that we're keeping those lights off, keeping the blue lights, and give our brains a rest from the blue light. Third tip I want to recommend is that we calm our cortisol level. Calm our cortisol. We want to keep that racing hearts or racing thoughts away from us. How can we do that? We can engage in activities such as gratitude journaling. We can take some slow, deep breaths, and we can also pray. Prayer is something that you can engage in because it helps your body to relax, and you can engage in conversation with the master. Fourth thing that I want to recommend is that we eat sleep-friendly foods. Yes, there are sleep-friendly foods. What are they, you may ask? Well, let me advise you. Those are bananas, tart cherries, and almonds. Why are they considered sleep-friendly? They are considered sleep-friendly because they are natural melatonin boosters. Remember, melatonin is our sleep messenger. So all the other things can be on, but if your melatonin is off, you're not going to have the rest that you should have. So we want to make sure that we're doing the things to make sure that our messenger is able to work and get the job done. Last but not least is we want to make sure that we keep a consistent bedtime. That can be difficult for a lot of us, right? Because we're always having something to do, errands, this, that. But we want to make sure that we're taking time to give our body the opportunity to rest and give our hormones the opportunity to take care of us. We want to take care of our hormones, and our hormones will take care of us. So these are the 5 tips that I want to recommend that we engage in and try to do 80% of the time, because it's not easy to break old habits. So 80% of the time we want to engage in the new habits, and eventually, you know what, the number might increase. So let me know in the comments if this message or this information resonated with you, and share, like, subscribe. Make sure you share the information with a friend who may need to have the information to help them to have better sleep. Don't forget, this is part 3 of our 3-part series, Energy, Mood, and Sleep. If you have not seen part 1 and 2, make sure you click on the link and in the description below, so you do not miss that very insightful and informative and generous tips that I've provided for you. And don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and until next time, friends, sweet dreams. I rise up.